we have breaking news. While I was trying to go to sleep last night, this popped up in my little Google news feed on my phone, and it's this article, and the title is "Life Existed on Mars. Definitive Statement. Shocking Discovery Suggests." It's that little suggest word they add to make sure that nobody really calls them out on it, but it's the big title that life existed on Mars, and then it'll like maybe on the end. But anyway, let's get into this article and decide whether or not life actually existed on Mars. Shocking discovery suggests. So, first things first, this is on Fox News Science, which is the one that popped up on my phone. I don't know why, but the original source of this is actually the sun. As you can see, the little sun logo there. And if we zoom down to the bottom, this story originally appeared in the Sun. So let's go to the Sun. Now, the reviews of the Sun tend to be, it is the embodiment of everything wrong with tabloids. Not just a tabloid, it is the worst of the tabloids. But anyway, let's not delay too long. Let's get into the article, because this is going to be a video that you can send your stupid friends who are just sharing this article about how there's life on Mars. And if you've had this video shared with you, do with that information what you will. But anyway, the Sun's title is actually Red But Not Dead. Life did exist on Mars. Full capital, did. It's a definitive statement. And alien life forms may have once thrived on the Martian surface. They're doubling down that life did exist in all caps, and it thrived. Let's get into what the actual discovery was. So this is by the Curiosity rover, and it has detected boron. It says here it's a key ingredient for life on the dusty surface of the red planet. This discovery is a huge boost in the hunt for extraterrestrials, which, okay, it's kind of true. If you find the boron, then it's more likely that life could have lived there. But then again, boron's pretty prevalent on Earth, so I don't know if it's really a huge deal that we found it on Mars, considering it remained of relatively the same stuff. But anyway, let's keep going. And could back up the theory suggesting that life on Mars was forced underground. I'm not sure how the existence of boron indicates that life on Mars was forced underground instead of just that life went extinct. It doesn't weigh in one direction over the other. It's not like underground life needs boron, but other life doesn't. So here's what they said. Because borates may play an important role in making RNA, one of the building blocks of life, finding boron on Mars further opens the possibility that life could have arisen on the planet. Borates are one possible bridge from simple organic molecules to RNA. Now, if you don't know what RNA is, it's sort of the carrier before DNA. Now, I'm not a biologist. I am studying to be an engineer, and I took a couple biology classes in high school. So this may not be 100% correct, but if I'm remembering this right, you have RNA, and that goes over to the DNA. DNA is what stores all your genetic information. RNA comes over there, and there's a molecule between them that reads the DNA, writes it onto the RNA, and then the RNA carries that information so that your body knows what proteins to make. It's basically the messenger from the information center, which is the DNA, out to the people who actually build the stuff that the DNA tells them to build. But again, they didn't actually find the RNA, it's just boron, which is used to create RNA. So the next line in the article, the presence of boron tells us that if organics were present on Mars, these chemical reactions could have occurred. So it's sort of like they're saying, we found this hammer, and we think it might belong to a carpenter, but we have absolutely no proof. I'm not bashing on NASA here, I'm bashing on the interpretation from the Sun. NASA's fully aware that finding a hammer doesn't prove there was a carpenter. If you want to prove there's a carpenter, you need to find a chair. But anyway, that's the end of the quotes. We get back to the Sun. RNA is ribonucleic acid, a nucleic acid present in all modern life, which is involved in decoding and expression of genes from DNA. So I was correct there, I think. Though I am fact-checking myself with the Sun, which probably isn't smart. It is known to be unstable, so unless boron is present, it decomposes quickly. So, according to them, boron is a preservant to RNA. I don't know if that is true, and I don't know enough about chemistry or biology to really say definitively one way or the other. And then they talk about SpaceX. Yeah, Speaking of SpaceX, this just goes to further show how non-trustworthy the source is. This is a completely different article. The last article, like I've said, is exaggerating what they actually found. They just found a building block, which is sort of like these explorers find a lake in the middle of nowhere, and then the news said that they found fish. Now, they didn't say they found fish in the lake. Because there's a lake there, it's a lot more likely that there's fish, because there's probably not fish on dry land. But just because there's a lake doesn't mean there's fish in it. And borons are the same way. Just because there's boron there doesn't mean that there was life to use the boron. But anyway, hopefully that sums up that last article. And now we're going to poke holes in the sun more as a general organization. Let's talk about SpaceX. Elon Musk offers first glimpse of SpaceX spacesuit that could be worn by the first person to walk on Mars. It could be technically considered correct that the first person to walk on Mars would wear this spacesuit at some point in time. But that point in time would not be while they are being the first person walking on Mars. And the reason is, this is an IVA suit, which means intravehicular activity. In other words, you stay inside the damn vehicle when you're wearing the suit because it's not a full spacesuit. It's just enough pressure so you don't die if a hole gets poked in your spaceship. You can't actually go walk on the surface in this thing. Now on to these little articles on the side that just go to show how trustworthy the sun is. It's out there. UFO watchers in a frenzy after these alien portals mysteriously... Wow, okay, while I was reading this, I died a little inside. It's out there. UFO watchers in a frenzy as alien portals mysteriously appear below International Space Station. And it shows a picture of clouds. Let's zoom in on this. These little white dots on the Earth are alien portals. There's no other explanation for there being white dots on the Earth. I'm gonna go check outside for any alien portals. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Okay, so the sun reports on clouds as being UFO alien portals. And then there's the next one, which you won't be able to see very well because I'm blurring this out, because it's literally a naked lady. Like, read the little description. Attracting a crowd. Naked woman parades through a city to prove that she'd be left alone, only to be hounded by a sleazy group of men. Then there's another one. Hands off, outrages New York school tells students that they should masturbate to avoid carrying out sex attacks on nights out. So, yeah, they have a lot of sex stuff, a lot of clickbait. And this isn't YouTube. This is supposed to be a real news organization. Now, everybody who knows what the Sun is realizes that it's not a real news organization, but apparently Fox News doesn't, and a lot of people in the US actually pay attention to Fox News. So when they're quoting the Sun as if it's some source on actual space news, which, I don't know, maybe they're hoping people fall for it because the name is the Sun or something. It's sort of disappointing, because now people are going to read the Fox News article and be like, oh my god, life existed. Now, at least they toned down the title here from it definitely did exist and it thrived. They just talk about life may have existed. So it's not as bad when you compare it directly to the Sun, but it's still a bit clickbaity of a title, and it's quoted from a source that has no idea what they're talking about.